Hi, I'm Laura Savini, and welcome to this week's celebration of Long Island arts, culture, and cuisine. Tonight, we visit with a Long Island artist who's soaring to new heights, and we meet Academy Award-winning screenwriter of On the Waterfront, Bud Schulberg, right here on Ticket. We are really fortunate that on Long Island there are so many gifted and nationally recognized artists, and Barbara Ernst Prey of Oyster Bay is certainly one of them. She illustrates her experiences of the land and sea around her in vibrant and inviting watercolor creations. Presently, her work is taking a new direction and reaching new heights as she begins to embark upon her third commission for NASA, with her subject moving nearly 10 times the speed of sound.
I think I always knew that I wanted to be an artist. My mother was a painter, and she was head of the design department at Pratt in New York. And really that was a role model, and it was something that was inside of me. I always painted, I always drew, so it's just exciting to be able to really follow your dreams. The medium that I love and that I do is watercolor, and I've been doing watercolors for over 30 years. So I started when I was 14, 15, took my first watercolor course, and I've been doing it ever since. I do oil paintings, I do draw, I do pastels, but that's really my love, and I love the fluidity of it. I love the color, the intensity of the color, the feel of the paper, and the freeness and freshness of it. I try and be as disciplined with my time as I can, because I know I only have a certain amount of time to paint. I have 2 children, so when they're in school I'm able to work. I do a lot of the office work and have a couple of assistants who help do that, and then that frees me up to really spend my time painting and working. So I try and paint as much as I can from 8 to 4 every day. If I had to give my work more of a description or a context, I would say that it's similar to Winslow Homer. I love his work, his beautiful watercolors. And in some ways Edward Hopper. I really admire Sargent too. But you take all these influences, and yet you have something that, as one professor at Harvard said, my art is distinctly my own. So I love bright colors, and I really try and push the colors. And yet have a sense of place and tell a story without having people in it. So it's not really lonely. You have it's warm and has a sense of place, I would say. I love doing landscapes, large landscapes, like that large. And I'll go out and I'll work and I'll do primary sketches on site, and then come back and finish the painting. But I really get so excited about water scenes, landscapes. It's something that touches you, and you get very excited about something, and you want to capture it and paint it. I paint, you would ask, painting from the heart. I paint what I want to do, and I think that makes it so authentic, and it makes it real, because it's something that touches me, and it's something that I'm reacting to, and I'm taking my time to respond to. I might see something out of the corner of my eye and think that's just a wonderful painting or a scene. And there's so many things that I want to paint that I have had in my mind for years to paint, and they don't come out until years and years later. There's a house around the corner that I just love. It has a wonderful green barn, and someday that will be a painting. I just haven't done it yet, but when I'm driving, I'm always looking at it when I'm going by. I'm looking for ideas. I was asked to do the Christmas card for the White House last year, and it was just a wonderful experience to be able to do the different rooms and to do sketches. And I did studies of a number of different rooms, and then Mrs. Bush decided on the diplomatic reception room, which is where FDR used to hold his fireside chats. And for an artist, and I was an art history major at Williams, to be able to go down and see the furniture, the paintings, and to be able to sit and draw in the White House by yourself, and just go through the different rooms is such an amazing experience in itself. And I think that was probably the first interior scene I had done, so it was all new for me. I don't paint chairs, but to paint chairs and to do the rugs and everything, and it worked beautifully. So it was a challenge, and it was a fun thing to do because it was a challenge. And then the work that I've done for NASA has been, it's so out of my realm, so out of what I do. In some ways, it is a landscape, but it's a much greater landscape. They had first asked me to do the International Space Station 2 years ago. And when I was doing that when the Columbia, unfortunately, tragedy occurred, and they liked the space station so much that they asked if I would would do a painting to commemorate the Columbia tragedy, which they unveiled at the Air and Space Museum last February. And that was just so moving. I mean, it's again different. My colors were so strong because I was trying to convey this sense that it's something very upbeat, because they made prints of it and gave it to all of the astronauts' families. So there was the painting, but this incredible emotional context to the painting. This is my third commission from NASA, and it's of the X-43, which is so exciting. I went out to California. They sent me out to watch the launch of the X-43, and it's the fastest aircraft in the world. It went almost 10 times the speed of sound, which is pretty amazing. And I was able to, I went out right before it went off and did sketches and got up close and was able to look at it and ask questions and work with some of the scientists. So now that I've gone out there, I have to kind of think from what I've seen and photographs that I've taken, what is the best way to portray the fastest moving aircraft in the world. This summer I was asked by the ambassador through the Arts and Embassies program, because I have a number of paintings in embassies abroad, to come to Norway and to give a symposium with him about business supporting the arts for the Norwegian business community, to kind of get them to have more of a corporate support of the arts. And that was just a wonderful experience to be able to do something like that. And actually I had a painting in the embassy in Prague and was invited by the ambassador and his wife to come over through the Arts and Embassies program and give a lecture about my work. But that's also going on when these other two things are going on. So I'm just very, very excited to be involved in a program that sends artwork to embassies abroad, because you're really serving as an ambassador for your country, which is very exciting. Which in some ways what the NASA program does as well. They choose artists to document space history, and they've had Andy Warhol, Robert Rauschenberg have been artists who have been asked, and then it goes on tour, goes down to the Kennedy Space Center for exhibit. So it's just exciting to be part of it. And I think coming back, if I think about it, it's then it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. But while you're doing it, it's just so it's just a wonderful thing to be. I just feel so lucky to be able to have these experiences. And to be able to enjoy them.
Personally, I'm a big fan of Barbara's work, and it's very exciting to see what's going on with her now. Her X-43 painting for NASA will be unveiled in May, and other work is permanently on display at the White House and the Kennedy Space Center in Washington, D.C. If you'd like more information, visit our website. Up next, we'll tell you how you can meet on the waterfront screenwriter Bud Schulberg.